Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Herbert Harris with another edition of Success Talk. As you know, this program is about people just like you who have had challenges in their lives, and yet they've overcome those challenges. They've had their breakthrough and they've gone on to greatness. Maya Angelou says, "Still I rise." And so this whole series is about what people have encountered, the challenges they've had, the barriers they've had, and what they did to make their breakthrough. So tonight we have my good friend, Karen Creecy from Florida. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harris. So glad to be here with you. Well, on the other end for a change.
Well, Karen, you have been one of my favorite people because you've done something that very few people have ever done, and that is you have carried forth a legacy. The Billionaire Mastermind Forum is just incredible. Let's talk about that for a minute. How did that get started?
Actually, Joe Reed and another gentleman had initially started it back in like 2009. And they weren't really the ones that were going to run out there and take the front end of it. So Joe contacted Ali Yassin, and the other gentleman actually had bowed out. So it was really Joe and Ali that started, and then they invited Lorraine Brown Watkins and Tammy Swain. So we have prosperity names. So Ali was Go Rich Dad originally, and then he changed it to Go Rich Mind. Then it was Lorraine is Go Rich Mom, Tammy is Billionaire Baby, and Joe was Billionaire Joe. So we would regularly have prosperity names for each of our family members that would come in and speak with us every day. And Lee would do most of the teaching most days, and we would have occasional guest speakers. That increased over the years. And as you know, you're one of our favorites. As a matter of fact, somebody just said this morning, because you were on yesterday, they said, "Can you keep up Dr. Harris until tomorrow?" But you're going to be on the podcast really soon. So we went from a daily call 5 days a week, including holidays, at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live. It used to be 1 hour, extended into 2 hours right now, but people stay as long as they can. We do have a 24-hour replay, and now we just started a podcast available 24/7 at billionairemastermindforum.org.
Wow. Well, that's a tribute. I mean, when you can keep something going that long, so many times things just peter out. I don't know, people lose interest, but you have such a dedicated group. And one thing I like about it, you call it your success name. What was it? You used the term for each person's
prosperity name.
A prosperity name. Well, in Egypt, each pharaoh had his born name, his birth name, and then he had his pharaonic name. And the pharaonic name embodied, whatever attributes he wanted to, represent. And so, I love that idea because you become what you call yourself.
That too.
So many times people call themselves broke, unhappy. So whatever you say about yourself is always true. Wow. So over the years, you've had some incredible people. And I know can you think off the top of your head, some of the like more recognizable people that we've had?
Oh, well, George Fraser has been there, as well as Dr. Michael V. Roberts. And we've also had Les Brown has been there in the past, and Dr. Delatoro McNeil, and he just went into many countries just recently. And actually, Dr. Walter Milton, he did the BH 365 for Black History 365, and they have a great book out right now.
Yeah,
there was also Lisa Nichols had been on some time ago.
Yeah, I've done a couple of interviews with the 365. That's a great project, Yeah,
and recently had my schoolmate, which was Najee. It was a musician. Najee went to high school with me, or I went to high school with him, whichever. He graduated the year before me, but Najee was on earlier this year, and his episode is on the podcast as well.
Wow. Now, Karen, tell us a little about Karen. Where do you come from? How did you grow up? And, you know, uh, what what was the start of the Karen Creecy we see right now?
I was born in Jamaica, West Indies, actually. And my family came to New York in the 60s and actually dual parent home. So my mom was a nurse and my dad was a social worker. Actually, when he was in the West Indies, I understand he was the youngest headmaster at a time in his 20s in Jamaica. So I come from a family of educators, and we always strive to always be disciplined in a lot of things that we do. So that discipline has really served me well over time, because as I grew up going through life, and at first I wanted to be a nurse because my mom was a nurse, but I went to be a candy striper, and when I saw blood, and I couldn't even take out my son's teeth, so I had to. That's not my thing. So I knew that I just need to be in the office. I'm more of a, I'm more of a very detailed person. So, and that's even what happened with the forum, because although Ali, they would get the speakers and get things lined up, but then they forget to tell them what time zone it was in. They'd show up at the wrong day or the wrong hour. So it was just really a matter of getting the structure, which I try to be pretty structured with a lot of things that I do and have a system in place. But I actually had gone into the hotel division and working in, as I got older. And I was working for a company that said at 25 years, you get free hotel stays for life. And I lost my job at 24 years.
Wow.
And that just really took a new turn.
Uh-huh.
But I was just very thankful that, at the time, my friend would tell me, you need to mind your own business. He said, your mama told you to mind your own business. Your teacher tells you to mind your own business. And even in the Word of God, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11 and 12 says, make it your ambition to live a quiet life. Mind your own business. Work with your hands like we told you. See a daily life of win the respect of outsiders, and you won't be dependent on anybody. So I was thankful that prior to losing my job, I had started working in network marketing in a health company. And as well as actually, at the time when I got started in that, I was $16,000 in credit card debt. So I was able to pay that off and become debt free before losing my job, which that made a huge difference.
Yes.
So because I was debt free and I had good credit, I had, another business on, that I had been working just a little bit, just in and out. I really hadn't been serious about it as I learned to be now. But that truly made a big difference.
Wow.
Not having that ball and chain of debt to go along with you.
Yeah.
So I can make different choices and not go back to corporate America.
Yeah. Well, Karen, that's what's happening, I think, a lot right now. There's this whole thing with the great resignation, that people are not coming back to work. And I think that sometimes these companies have to push you out the nest. It's,
You're like that bird, like, man, to see if you're going to fly.
Yeah, to see if you're going to fly. And the beautiful thing is, your background, you had a good educational background, solid family background, that really prepared you, because many times when people come to that situation, a lot of those early education, those early life experiences will come up and can really be a big impediment. Yeah.
That's true. And they have a different attitude these days. I just spoke to somebody a few minutes ago, because right now I do taxes, insurance, as well as I have the other benefit plan that I work with. I do Medicare and Obamacare, as well as another health benefits for individuals, groups, and companies, even if they're undocumented. And when I just spoke to someone, and he mentioned, as far as your, any medical bills, that, I just don't pay them. And I'm thinking, like, that's not the attitude, because you can go to bankruptcy, things can happen, but they're not thinking that far ahead.
Yeah.
And, it's like, have credit, work out the agreement or whatever you got to do, but you just don't just raise up your hands and say, I'm just not going to pay it.
Wow.
That's just not the way.
Because it will cost you in the long run. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yep. When you're ready to buy a house or something else.
Yeah. Now, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother and a sister, and my sister actually is in the music industry. So, you being in the music industry yourself, she's out there in California right now. Matter of fact, her birthday is today. And they have she was part of Moby, the marketing opportunities in business and entertainment. I don't know if you heard of Moby.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
She's one of under the foundational parts of Moby and out there in front leading the charge there.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. But I have
Well,
one son. He's in his 30s right now.
now that's
So,
hard to believe. You must
yeah.
have had him at 6.
Okay. Yeah.
So what does your son do?
Oh, he's works in a warehouse of management in a warehouse out here in Orlando, Florida.
Okay,
But
beautiful.
and he's getting his entrepreneurial things as well. So he likes to write music.
Yeah.
So he really, and everybody looks at what their other gifts and talents are. We, sometimes we get trapped into a job, when people first get out of school, if they decide to go to school, and then they get caught with kids or bills, they got car notes, and you just end up getting a job and doing something to do that. But there's still something burning in your heart as far as what you really want to do, what you feel led to do, and you get the most passionate about. And it seems that that's what people are so unhappy these days, because they're really not doing what's in their heart. They're doing other stuff that they really hate to do.
Yes.
So
they spend so much time surviving that they don't really get a chance to thrive or even to live. I was looking, there's like survival where all your time is spent just providing food, clothing, and shelter. And then there's living where living is like a comfort zone. You get to a certain point where your bills are paid, you don't want to rock the boat, you're getting enough. It's almost like having a job and you make just enough money to keep from quitting. and they pay you.
Or not get fired.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like they pay you just enough to keep you from quitting, and you do just enough to keep from getting fired. And so many times people get stuck in that, but then there's that third stage, the thrival, where you really have more money at the end of the month, where you get to do some of the things you dreamed of doing. So I would imagine that over the years, you've had a chance to really do a lot of the things you wanted to do. What was the main thing if you look back, you say, what is one of your most proud accomplishments? One of the things that you did that it's like, man, I'm super proud of that. I made it through. I accomplished it.
Well, one of the things was the fact that, after losing my job, that I stayed firm to the fact that I wasn't going to go back to work with corporate America, that I could remain free and have the opportunity to be, do, and have more, and rather than just trying to just live between those means. And it was really, really hard those first couple of years. And I was barely getting by. But I was like, nope. Because I didn't have the debt, and, I was very blessed that my parents, they actually had wanted to leave the house and the family. So even after they passed away, that, I didn't have that mortgage and everything as well. So I figured, you know what, it may be tight. I can't do everything that my friends were going to do. Couldn't go everywhere. Couldn't eat the wonderful meals all the time. But, I just had to just remain firm that I didn't want to go back into debt. And, we can just do a little bit more at a time and we could still live good. So that could build up over time. So the fact that I didn't go back to work, I've actually been self-employed since 2008. And, it's amazing to me when I look back and say, wow, it's been a long time that this is, but, I really ended up wanting to go back several times, but I stayed firm and I did not go back to corporate America and continued. And even this with the forum, I would have never had the opportunity to keep the forum going if I had to run out to work every day, as well as to do the things I do there.
Wow. Now that's a huge breakthrough, because so many times, I'm a network marketer and have been doing it for years and years and years, and probably one of those people who really make a living at it. Somebody said, what's your real job? That's my real job. Everything else is on top of that. I've been with this company now 13 years, and I always approach network marketing as a real business, not a hustle, not a side, but I always approached it as a real business. But one of the things I noticed, a lot of people will come in will attempt entrepreneurship, but once the road gets rocky, I think they get fearful and they go back to that job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that thing
They
like
do.
captures you, you know, it once you get back into it, it's hard to get out again. Yeah.
People like that freedom, that taste of freedom is just different. You know, when you can get up when you want, when if it's raining outside or if it's snow outside, that you can make the choice. I'm not going out there today.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. It's a different level of freedom and content. You know, some people are content not having to do a whole lot, or I don't have to work that hard. But you know, there's a different type of growth and that personal development, and that's what I thank you so much, because you have really taught, you know, yourself as well as some of the other speakers that come through on the broadcast. You know, when we are learning more about the development of ourselves, and you know that we, you know, and having the more belief in ourselves, surrounding yourself with other people that have that same belief level as well, or that are spiritually aligned, that they are looking to do things as well, and they're not trying to sit back and just watch TV and be a couch potato.
Right.
They really want to strive to achieve more, and there's dreams that they want to achieve too. You know, because the graveyard is the richest place. There's so many dreams that never got done, and you know, we want to make sure that whatever it is that's in your heart, we need to connect you with the right people so you can do it.
Yes.
And that's really what my passion is, to connect you with the right people.
Wow.
I want to be the Quincy Jones of speaking.
Well, you're doing a great job of it, because, you know, when you can hang in there and build your own business and take care of yourself. Now, you said something that was very interesting, the house, you know, the house from the parents. And that's important because so often, so many families are like one generational wealth. And so even if the parents or the grandparents have a house, so often they're so quick to sell it and just get the cash and go buy something that, you know, it's not an investment. Whatever they buy is rarely an investment. It's generally something shiny that moves, you know, makes noise. But I think that was evidently a key part, the fact that you had the homestead and were able to leverage that, you know. That's a good point.
But you want to, you know, and I want to do more so that, you know, whatever blessing that I have received, that I want to pay it forward over and above what I was given. So even now with the business, having the opportunity, wouldn't it be a blessing that if you were able to leave that legacy in your family, not just for a house, but now to leave a house and a check?
Yes.
You know, I'm sure your picture's going to be on the mantelpiece, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody talk about, oh, Grandpa was great.
Yes. Well, you know, yeah, I helped my daughter get her first house. And it was so important, you know, when I was a young man, I came into a little bit of money. I had a little company, and my uncle literally made me buy a house. You know, he said, "You're buying this house." You know, at least I asked my daughter, I said, "Honey, you know, I recommend it." I said, "I think you should buy this house from me, so you'll have a house." Okay. My uncle did not give me the option. I had got my little money. I had done a deal, and the first time I ever made $25,000. I had sold a company.
Wow.
And he took $5,000. He said, "Give me $5,000." Now, this man had opened so many doors for me, I couldn't really, in good conscience, say, "You must be crazy. This is my money." Okay.
I know you might have said it, but it didn't come out your mouth.
No, I sure thought it, you know. I really thought it. And but he said, "You're buying a house." And I'm like, "I guess I am. Give me $5,000. I'm like, "Okay." And I did. Thank goodness it wasn't my last 5,000. But that gave me a platform, you know, that served me for many, many years. You know, that house was like the rock. And, you know, you look at the real estate market today, a house that maybe was $100,000, you know, 10 years ago is now $300,000 and $400,000. And so it can be a major part of your wealth. Yeah, that's great. Now, Karen, when you were making your transitions and whatnot, what would you say was your biggest obstacle? Or maybe there were 2 or 3, but things that almost, you know, like the David and Goliath, you know, I always think about, many of us have that David and Goliath experience where Goliath is trying to take you out, hold you back, keep you down. I mean, just blocking your way. What are your David and Goliath moments?
Oh, there's One is in regard to clarity, because although I had the project and something I really wanted to do, I really wasn't sure about how to put it together or how to get it to work. So it helps by being around people that are going in the right direction, that you can ask questions of, get mentors, or find out how they did something. The fear was also something, or because not knowing or self-confidence to know, can I really do this? Although on one side you're saying, yeah, I can do this, you're saying the affirmations, but at the same time it's like, well, there's a difference of I think you mentioned it recently in regard to the believing and the knowing. Yes. So sometimes we want to say that we believe, but the belief is really not in the actions that we're taking, that is showing that, you're really scared, you're not doing this. So whether trying to be a perfectionist and want to make sure that things are right and not wanting to go out there and have people think that, oh, this came out bad, or they're judging you, which people are going to judge you anyway.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the clarity, the fear, self-confidence, all of those things, they were all in there. And I'm not saying that everything is going right now, but, we just have to still move forward in the space of, they say, action, despite the distraction. I think with Stacey N.C. Grant.
Yes.
And, Michael V. Roberts, be an actionaire. You got to just put it in action.
Yes.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing, when you look at that farm, how many nuggets people have dropped, and,
all day, every day.
Yeah. And you see,
and it's not just the speakers, the listeners too. We get a lot of, and matter of fact, Dr. Harris, when you were on last week, and one of the ladies made a comment, and she actually almost told you what your book was about, from beginning to end. Was that amazing?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. And when you experience that and see that people really take your work and it has changed their lives. If I ask myself sometime, what is my greatest victory, and it is to see people who I have interacted with, who've read my books, who've listened to some of my audios, and they said, Doc, man, it was just at that moment I was going down, I was sinking, I was going down for the third time, I was getting ready to drown, and somebody threw your book in the water. and on the way down, I started reading chapter 2 or chapter 4, and that thing said, hold on, let's start stroking now. You got something to stroke for. And that's always been a blessing. And to look at the Mastermind Farm, to have a platform, that's the important thing. It's almost like an oasis. You notice how people go and they'll go and then they'll come back a week later, a month later. You notice that?
We have people that come back years later. I mean, and matter of fact, just recently, someone had been going for, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years. And they came back and they're so excited. They're there every day now.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
And we have some folks that hadn't spoken up for, let's say 6 months or even a year. And then all of a sudden one day something hit them and they spoke up, and it's like, you've been here all that time. So it really amazes us that there's people that are listening that hadn't unmuted their line, but they are. So we're really happy that we're impacting lives as well.
Well, I'll tell you, it's almost like the oasis, in the desert. And that oasis, people can come there and get water, get food, and literally save their lives. And so I take my hat off to you, because you have really been a backbone. And the crew, you all have stuck together. That's the main thing. Like many of the people who started out are still there. That's a great tribute.
Yeah. We have some that have been here from the very beginning. Yeah. And I mean, it's really amazing that we have, Maggie out in California up at 5 a.m. on a Pacific Standard Time to be on here live. Yes. Like, you can listen to the podcast, so you have the edited version where it's just you hear the message. Yeah. However, it's really great when you can experience it live and get the full flavor of everything that's happening. So it's really, we feel like it's it's like a spiritual soul food, or it's just a great way to start your day.
You know what? I just heard it.
Breakfast for your soul.
That's it. Soul food for your soul. This is food for your soul, not for your palate, but for your soul to help
Mm-hmm.
you go where you want to
Yeah.
go. Well, what do you
Yes.
see next? What do you see next for yourself? What are the next steps?
Oh.
Yes, for you.
The forum is taking a new turn, and Casey Connects You is, with my company will be, we do the production of the call each day. However,
Uh-huh.
we're looking to take that, even further so that there'll be different build outs and a lot of different opportunities for the speakers, for the listeners, for, that those that want to be mentored. So there's a lot of things that I'm working on right now,
Mm-hmm.
that looking forward to seeing if we can release it by the beginning of next year or probably first
Mm-hmm.
quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, there's some great things that'll be happening with the forum. So you definitely want to be get connected.
Mm.
Casey Connects You.
Yeah. Now, do you all have a strategy? Do you get together and do strategy sessions?
It's amazing to me that when Ali was around, they would only do live. It was like instantaneous.
Yes.
That each day it would just come alive from 8 to 9.
Yeah.
They did not have much of a conversation during the week or meetings or anything like that. Over the years, we wanted to come together to it, like a monthly meeting or whatever, so that the team would get together. So we had continued to do that for a while. But in the last couple of months, people have gotten a little busy and schedules change in my tax season and things. So we have some other classes and things that we're getting together now, so that I can strategize to move forward the project and the ideas of what's coming together.
Yeah. But I guess the
Yeah.
main thing is to know that each other's there, even if you don't have a meeting, but just knowing that somebody's there worth working with you. Yeah, that's critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to get people that are going in the same direction to be working together. So that way, as one person might be further ahead, when one falls down, he picks the other one up. So
Yes.
that way, that people are going to get a little, whether they're getting fearful or getting dissuaded, that somebody's there to encourage them that has been through that same process.
Right.
So whatever it is that they're looking to work on, that they have somebody else that they can be aligned with to take them down that road.
That's
So
critical.
we're just looking forward to that.
That's beautiful. So on a personal level now that we know where the farm is going, I've seen you evolve over the years, from being a part of the program to being a leader of the program. In your personal level, in your business, where are you moving to now? What's next for Karen the person?
Well, I'm working on a national vice president with my other company, and looking forward to growing. Because to me it's so important to teach other people how to fish as well, and I know you do that with your business. So as far as the insurance end of what I do, there's so many people that are being dissuaded by sometimes because of and I don't want to say of sometimes the agents they may be in contact with. So I really want to make sure that it's really of a heartfelt thing. I want to be able to assist people as though they were my own family. Mm-hmm. So that's important to me. But also, just like when I lost my job and so when people can have they want to have a legacy for their family for generations to come, they have something that they can build on. You don't need to be just assuming that your plan A is going to work. You see the pandemic that happened, the floods that happened, the fires, the earthquakes. Your job can be gone in an instant, even though things can be beautiful one day and go on the next. So we have to be able to have something else. And why not have something in your heart's desire, not just something that you're just trying to make some money. No, we want to find what it is that's going to make your heart sing, going to keep you a happier person. We can help with all the road rage out there if people were happier. Yes. So, we have a great time every day. So keeping people in a happy spirit. But I'm definitely looking to move forward with things so we can help young people to have more mentors. So as far as the forum and Casey Connects You, that we're building out more of a business of how that's going to be able to help all types of people, wherever you are in your situation. Because you can be a speaker on one end, but on the other end that you're trying to take care of an aging parent at home and have no experience in that realm. So, so we were able to take somebody that's a leader in one area and a student in the other, put them both together and help them to excel in both areas.
Wow. Now that's a whole nother level, because people who may be a player in one game of life may be a spectator in another game of life. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We're down near the end of the program, and Karen, I tell you, if people listen to this, the Billionaire Mastermind Forum is going to grow even more, because your dedication and the insight that you all bring, that, like you said, that oasis nature of people coming there and getting whatever they need. If it's water, if it's air, if it's companionship, if it's just to be heard. Sometimes people just want to be there. They don't even want to say anything.
Yes.
They just want to listen. And you continue to provide that. I think that's an incredible job. What would you like to, any thoughts you'd like to leave people with, that maybe people who've lost their job, people who are at a point in their lives where they're not sure, what the next step is, whether they want to run back and grab another job, or whether they want to strike out on their own? Any advice for them or thoughts?
Well, first thing is, as far as the company that you keep, you said before, I think that your 5 or 6 closest friends are telling you where you're going to be. If those friends are going in a ditch, you're going right there with them. So if those 5 friends are striving for something better, but if you're the biggest fish in your pond, then you need to find a new pond, because there's somebody that's waiting to help to teach you something if you're willing to learn. So there's people out there, it's just a matter of your willingness. And, one of your things as far as the law of persistence and results is, winners never quit and quitters never win. So don't ever quit. And, we just got to keep hope alive, be a hope ambassador, that we can help people to, just keep your fires burning. And, although things can look really, really bleak, prayer and, staying around people that are tuned into the spirit can also help in terms of getting us in the right direction. So, join us in the mornings. The phone number to dial in direct is 667-770-1523. And the PIN number is 915358#. We do have a 24-hour replay at 712-432-1085. The same PIN number, 915358#. And then also our podcast at billionairemastermindforum.org. And again, that's .org, not .com. So if you're on an iPhone, send yourself a text, click on the link, and you know what? You'll be amazed at them. So many amazing people that we have come through there, including you, Dr. Harris. I just thank you for so much you have taught. And I love the way that you teach. You go through all your bullets, then you come back and you circle back around, because some of us taking notes. And I really encourage people to be a note taker.
Yes.
Because those notes are not just for us and our generation. These are things that we can pass on to our family for generations, that's going to give them the insight and the knowledge that they need.
Yes.
That, can totally change their life. So I thank you for changing our lives and all that you have done over the years, because you've truly been an inspiration for me. Every time we hear you, we are just in awe. And you have a monthly date with me, right?
Yes.
Once a month now you're going to do, right?
Yes.
I got you on camera saying that.
Well, you all have done, I know you all have given so much life to the book, the 12 Universal Laws of Success. A book is okay, but when you see how people have taken the book and used it in their lives, in their purpose, that just warms my heart. And you all have really embraced the book,
Yeah. I'll have to get that podcast up soon, because when I heard someone, Jean said that she has it listed on her wall, she says it daily. And I mean, just when she expressed it in her, I mean, you could just feel the love, the passion that she was speaking your words. And I said, I could feel how proud I was for you. That was a joy for me to hear. And for all of us to witness it, we were in awe, I tell you. And even that very day, you see a friend of mine went and bought 10 books of yours.
Sure did. Wow. Well, I'll tell you something, Karen. I thank you so much. This was a great experience, and for sharing, and for being a light, for being a beacon to help people, to let them know that I don't care how lost you may be, but if you wake yourself up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you call that
We got a
number,
lot of love for you.
somebody's
Yes.
going to be there. There's a lot of love for you. So thank you so much, my dear. The Success Talk, you have made Success Talk a much better program. We appreciate you. Continue the great work you're doing. Always
Thank you
remember,
so much, Dr. Harris.
yes, dear.
The best is yet to come.
All right,
I love
dear.
when you say it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And CaseyConnectsYou.com. Come and check out our podcast. And if you need benefit plan, call me as well. We have lots of benefits nationwide. And we also just included pets now too. We just got a pet plan for all the animals under your roof. Yes,
Wow.
yes.
And that's CaseyConnect.com.
Well, my benefit plan is CaseyConnect.info.
Okay.
Again, CaseyConnects.info. The CaseyConnectsYou.com is what's connected to the BillionaireMastermindForum.org.
Okay.
So, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, my dear. Have a great, magnificent day. All right. And
you help to make it so.
All right. Once it is said, it is done, and it is true.
Yes.
And so it is.
And remember, we don't have weekends. We have strong beginnings at the Billionaire Mastermind Forum.
That's good. We don't have weekends. We have strong beginnings. Always knowing
That's right.
that the best is yet to come. And so it is.